everybody, how is it going? About 10 days ago, we had the honour and the privilege of escorting something known as the Great Tour around our home roads of Cornwall. We joined them for 4 days. We met them in Padstow for the first full Cornish stage, and we dropped them off at the Eden Project, which is where the end of the final full Cornish stage was. So it's 4 days of good riding, and Cornwall was on its absolute best behaviour with the weather. Now, bearing in mind it was bank holiday weekend, the roads were unbelievably quiet as well. They were quite early starts, but not silly early, so you would have expected quite a bit of traffic. Have a look at some of this footage, and I hope you'll agree, Cornwall looked absolutely incredible. And if you can, try and spot some of the place names, because I think it would be quite a challenge if you can actually pick them all up. Hi, Stephen.
Christopher. Hello.
Where are we today, Tristan?
Don't ask me. Padstow.
We've come for a little day out in Padstow. Very nice, Stephen. Nice of you to take us out for the day.
It's to see Rick Stein.
How's it going, Tristan?
Well, thank you.
Look at that, on brand, bottle in hand. It's all fun and smiles right now whilst the sun's out, but I don't think that's going to last for too long. It's forecast to rain for most of the ride.
Storm warning at 11 o'clock.
Storm warning at 11 o'clock, and it's a headwind. What a beautiful day for a bar ride. I'm dressed appropriately, I would say. Full winter gear. Steve is dressed for a summer holiday, and Tristan's in the middle, getting a tan.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate. So, what's that over there? Sure. America.
Instead of me sitting here and telling you what the Great Tour is, I thought it'd be a good idea to hear it from Robin himself, who had actually completed the entire circumnavigation of the British Isles, and also from Toby, who's part of the organisation team. So I'm going to pass you over to Robin Young right now. We're sat outside of Helston Boating Lake, which is very picturesque here this morning, and Robin's going to run you through some stats and facts and figures of the last 58 days now.
I think it's 58 days, yeah, with another 7 days to come, including today. So, the Great Tour, Coastal Tour of Britain, 6,500 kilometres. As of last night, some of these are slightly guesses, you'll understand, but around about 1.3 million pedal strokes so far. Just over 200,000 calories burnt, 15 kilos of weight lost, but I had quite a lot to go at to start with, to be fair. And 55,000 metres of climbing, I think, so far as well. It'll be round about 4 times the amount of saddle time as a Tour de France rider would get on a Grand Tour by the time they finish the tour. And mostly it has been fun, which is surprising, except for the occasional days of utterly vile weather. Highs and lows would be, so I'll start with a really weird day, and I've got a blog about this. If you look on newforestrobinyoung.co.uk, find the menu bar, you'll find the Great Tour in there. You can scuffle around and find different days. There was a day from Tongue to Scowry, way up in the north of Scotland. It was going to be, I think it was something like 85 kilometre day, and it was quite hilly, and it was really, really, really windy. And on this particular day, the first part of the day is up quite a steep hill for about 1 kilometre, and then a false flat that just kept going and going and going. And I was riding with Pippa York, former Tour de France King of the Mountains winner. I was riding with a guy called Rod Kennison, who as a teenager rode for Great Britain in the World Championships, and an absolute bull of a man called Wim Chalmay, who is now a firm friend, and these guys were hiding me from the wind. After 1 hour we'd gone 8 kilometres, and we were thinking, how will this ever end? And at the end of that day, and we had all sorts of rain and wind and stuff like that day, you know, rain in your face like a swarm of wasps. And somehow that day was a high, because we got to the end of it. It was just, so that was pretty extraordinary. Day after that, from Scary to Ullapool, 120k, more than 2,000 meters of climbing, all really choppy climbs like that. I thought that was going to kill me. That was definitely a low. I was very grumpy after that. 6 hours into 20-mile-an-hour headwinds and constant rain from Dumbarton to Ayr, where I've got video of cars going through puddles of water that were up to their axles. That was another low point. High points, today's definitely one of them. And I've seen now almost all of the coastline of Great Britain, and the coast I've been looking at this morning, I can say officially is way up there and the most beautiful, just coming into the Lizard. Just utterly stunning. So today, riding with mates makes a ride a high point. Riding on your own into a rainy headwind, not so much.
Toby, in charge of logistics and operations, is going to tell you everything about the last 60 days.
Well, not everything about the last 60 days, but yeah, we're on day 58 now of 64. What can I say about the Great Tour? It's completely different to anything we do. Obviously we run city centre races, women's and men's professional bike races. This is very different. Speechless, I think. Highlights probably Cornwall and Scotland. The beauty has just been absolutely unreal. The amount of adventures we've got up to has been phenomenal. I couldn't even think of, well, I can think of one that's kept me entertained for the last couple of weeks. The guy who drives our RV, Andy, he knocked himself out clean, cold, on one of the edges of the RV for about 3 minutes. He was completely unconscious. The other guy who works with us came back from being out and thought he was having a sleep and lie down. He went, "Andy, you okay?" He went, oh yes, I'm fine." Big golf ball on his head.
And what's the entire event in aid of?
Well, we're trying to, we've run the Great Tour in 2010 and 2015, and we're just trying to raise awareness of how beautiful the coast is, the whole coastline of Great Britain, and raise a bit of money for charity along the way. Obviously it's very different to what we do. Our bread and butter is bike races, but this is very different. This is inclusive for anyone can ride the Great Tour as long as they can ride, you know, 100k a day.
Which charities are you raising money for this year, sorry?
Autism charity called Ambitious About Autism, and a UK diabetes charity as well, and trying to raise as much as we can in a very weird year for everyone in the sport.
This is locally known as the corner of dreams. Corner of dreams? Because when you turn the corner, the Great Tour is about to make it to the most southerly point in the UK. I think we've got the biggest group for the best day, hilliest day, twistiest day, out into the Roselands. Nice watch, Stephen.
I can't believe I'm entrusted with this.
You've only got it for the time.
Look at this. Can't paint that part.
We are now dropping down into one of the top 10 most beautiful ferry rides in the world, apparently. King Harry Ferry. I'm not sure that King Harry's going to be here though. Smile, Toby.
Hey.
Do you want a marmalade sandwich?
No one said no to that. One of my favourite things about riding a bike is you just end up in new places a lot of the time. And if it wasn't for the Great Tour, even though this is only a few miles away from home, never would have been here. St Justin Roseland. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to show you a few more clips of Cornwall because I thought it just looked absolutely beautiful. My camera probably, or almost certainly, doesn't do it justice, but I honestly don't think I've ever enjoyed riding in Cornwall as much as I did over those 4 days, just because of the weather, the scenery, the people we were with, and it was one of the first weekends of riding I've done in Cornwall for a very long time. All right. So there are plenty of links down in the description below, and some of them I would invite you to use. So there's going to be a link to the auction for the watch. You may have noticed at some point either on Instagram if you follow me there, or on Steve's arm in the video, there is a very, very smart looking Moritz Grossman, probably pronounced terribly poorly, watch. This was a special timepiece which was created for this event, and the idea is that it's going to be auctioned off. Now, it's well out of my price range. The bidding when I started filming was already well over £5,000, but the proceeds will be going to charity. That will be going to autism and the Diabetes UK charities, which you've heard talked about earlier on in the video. I don't know anyone that could buy it. Maybe you do, and I'd invite you to check out the auction, which is on Robin's Instagram. The link is down there below. And then finally, Robin's blog. He mentioned it earlier on, and I included a little brief screenshot of that web address. I really encourage you to check it out because it's really interesting just learning about someone that's been through an experience like they have over the last couple of months. He actually showed me a picture of himself at the start and a picture of himself now, and you would almost not believe it was the same person. So that's a huge achievement, not for just having done the ride, but to have also ridden himself back into shape in such a way. Like, it's a genuine, I'm honestly impressed. It's a transformation that you sometimes see these adverts pop up and you think, no, that's not real, but it is very real. And then finally, I'd just like to say huge congratulations to everyone. A massive achievement. It's something that actually Matt Ellis, you should look at his YouTube channel, and I talked about doing earlier in the year. I'm so glad we didn't even attempt it, because just those 4 days in Cornwall were hard enough. But it's quite nice to have heard about it from someone else that has done it, and it's nice to see people doing things that I wouldn't want to contemplate. So massive congratulations to Robin and everyone involved. That's it for me. I'll see you again soon.